Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got a great episode. We're going to be taking a look at our BCA-10 chambered in 8.6 Blackout. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, let's just go over the rifle that we have here today. So we have a BCM upper, BCM lower in the AR-10 platform. As you know, AR-10 is not really standardized like AR-15. This is a DPMS style AR-308 style rifle. I believe that their uppers, they claim to be compatible with lowers from Aero Precision, and except that maybe the set screw that helps keep the tension on the upper and the lower in the Aero Precision lower, you have to back that out and remove that in order for it to work. At least that's what the BCA Bear Creek Arsenal website says. So this rifle, it's a 10.5 inch. I really wanted a small pistol, and this is really a pistol. It's in the pistol condition. So 10.5 inch barrel. I have put on it my own muzzle device. It's a Reardon Plan B muzzle device so that I can hook up with the Plan B system that I use for all of my suppressors. I have my Dead Air Primal, which is a 45 caliber can. 8.6 Blackout is again 8.6 millimeters, or about 3.338 inches. So 0.45 is greater than 0.38. So we should be 0.338. So we should be just fine with this suppressor on here. We're just going to be shooting Subsonic today. I've done a little short on this in the past, but I just keep meaning to get back out to this rifle. And we really want to test reliability on this. It's a side charging, but look, I think that's just the way Bear Creek is doing it. It could have been a charging handle pullback. Yeah, that side charging is fine. Really what I'm looking for is, does it run? I had a really horrible experience with a Faxon bolt gun in 8.6. They even told me that 8.6 wasn't built for a bolt action rifle. I don't know how that's possible, but at any rate, that's what they said. They were good people and they have a great customer service. They actually swapped it out for AR-AK-21. Check out that video. But now we're back to 8.6. I really think this could be a compelling round for probably hunting whitetail in the eastern coast. Now, unfortunately, in Pennsylvania, you cannot use a semi-auto, but Bear Creek makes a bolt action version. So that might be something that I'd be interested in looking at in the future. Now, I have no relationship. A lot of people you hear reviewing Bear Creek Arsenal, they got the rifle sent to them from Bear Creek. I have no relationship with Bear Creek. So I'm free to say what I want. If it works, I'll be happy. If it doesn't, I'll be mad. But I will say that the price point compared to the Faxon, compared to this, is a big difference. So at least I won't be quite as mad if it doesn't work perfectly. All right, so that's enough yapping. And again, remember, we're talking about subsonic ammunition. So we're talking about ammunition that's going below the speed of sound. Now, where I'm at this temperature, it's about 40 degrees. It's going to be a little bit lower than what it might be when it's higher in temperature. Speed of sound is pressure sensitive, so temperature and pressure are directly proportional. So we're going to see, I've got my chronograph out, and we're going to see what type of velocities we're getting. We're going to see if we stay subsonic. I've got ammunition that claims to be subsonic, so we'll see about that. Also with subsonic ammunition, if you think about it for a second, and why 8.6 is a little bit compelling for subsonic hunting, is you want as big and heavy a bullet as you can, because it's limited by velocity. Velocity is the limit of the speed of sound. So beyond that, you want as big and gnarly a bullet as you can get. We're talking going back to the old muzzleloader and flintlock days where they had 500 caliber bullets, 800 caliber bullets. They just went bigger bullets because they couldn't get them going faster because the bullets wouldn't stay together as they projected them faster. And yeah, I'm going to have to make a comment that we are out at a range. This is the only day that I was able to get out this week, and it's super busy out here. Hopefully I get the video done, but I'm going to try to bleep out or take out all the background gunfire. That may or may not work. If not, I'm sorry. If it does, you'll notice it, because when I'm speaking, all of a sudden my voice will get real grainy and odd. All right, so we have a 5X Joliet magnifier on top. think it's 5X. We've got a SIG 4T, Romeo 4T up front, red dot. Got a target at just at 50 yards. I haven't sighted this gun in, so I'm going to try to get some sighting in. We're really just testing it for reliability and see how it feels to shoot the subsonic ammunition. All right, well, that's plenty of yapping for one day. Why don't we get to shooting? Okay, well, as fate would have it, I've already shot about 6 rounds because, idiot behind the gun forgot to turn on the camera. We'll turn on this camera. We've already got you on. We'll keep shooting. I think it's pretty well zeroed in. I think, as you'll see in that camera with those first few shots, it's not bad. In our velocities, well, that was a little more. That's interesting. We were getting around 960. That's 1043. Let's see what we get. A couple more shots. 999. 975. Oh, it's interesting. I think that one that was so fast, it sure went up maybe just a little bit higher. All right, and that is 10 shots. I know y'all didn't see the 10 shots, but let me just give you just an overview of that ammunition, how this gun is shooting these. Now, these are factory seconds, so whatever from Phantom Defense, I just appreciate them loading some cheap 8.6 Blackout. So min was 955, a max of 1043. That one just really shot up. Standard deviation is 24. They're mostly in there tight. Average kinetic energy of 647. And average velocity again was 985. So that's good. I mean, I like it, candidly, I like it a little bit lower because I like that it's subsonic. All right, I got 3 or 4 more rounds of that. I got some Fort Scott. We'll shoot a few more groups with this and see what we can tell from this. Again, with this dot, again, I didn't say it because I didn't press record, so you didn't hear me say it. But I already talked about with this magnifier in front of that, it does bloom the red dot more than it should. Like it shouldn't be magnified, but it's almost like it's 3x brighter or bigger, the dot. It shouldn't be. Is it 3x or 5x? I think it's 5x. It shouldn't be, but it is. So that kind of sucks. All right, well, we got 3 more of these. Again, factory seconds. Good on them for trying to bring the cost down a little bit of 8.6 Blackout. And we'll shoot 3 of these, then we'll shoot 5 of this Fort Scott, and we'll see how that goes. All right, now, to tell you the precision, hopefully you saw that triangle of the diamond as I'm shooting. The dot covers the entire diamond. So, like, the precision within, if I'm getting shots within that diamond, that's as good as it's going to get. All right, why don't we move to some Fort Scott? Now, I had so many light primer strikes. I wonder if this is even a box that has a bunch of, it does, has a bunch of the light primer strikes from our Faxon. Very light on them. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer for that. See the light primer strikes from the Faxon bolt action. But let's shoot 4 or 5 of these. See what velocities we get. Reset our chronograph. Again, this is our kind of shape of that bullet. Again, very sharp point because it's trying to do this tumble upon impact thing that it does, and goes through the gel. I've seen good and bad. I've seen some guys that like to have done some hog hunting with the Fort Scott, and jury's out. I had a really bad experience with some Fort Scott ammunition in 380 ACP. So, all right, but let's see how it does in the 8.6 with the Bear Creek Arsenal 8.6. We'll move over. .1071, a little closer. 1030. 1065. 1061, just a quick session summary. Okay, for our 5 shots, we had a min of 1030, an average of 1059, max of 1071, extreme spread of 41, standard deviation of 14, average kinetic energy of 710. Again, for subsonic ammunition, that's not bad. Okay, next up we have some Gorilla ammunition with their 300 grain Norma bolt tail hollow points. And, you know, it's kind of funny. So you'll see as I turn on the camera down there, I've already shot 4 shots. I'm just going to edit that out, but I forgot to set my chronograph to subsonic mode. It's expecting higher velocities, so it wasn't getting any of those. So we'll just reshoot these 4. But it'll just give us a better sized group of what we're getting with these. Up. And I don't know why their trigger didn't reset. Oh, we got a light strike. Very light strike. I think we got a light strike. We'll see. But the trigger didn't reset on that. Let's try this one more time. It's a little disappointing. Don't know if it's the ammo, don't know if it's what. Pretty nice little punch. Just take a quick look. So in that session, we recorded 5 shots. We had a min of 1002, max of 1017. That's a little bit tighter up in there. And an average kinetic energy of 680, very similar again. And that's, you know, if it's around 1,000, that's pretty good, and it'll be consistent throughout all weather conditions and other things for your, you know, hunting, and if you want to remain subsonic with it. It's pretty cool. Let's just go down range real quick, check out what the target looks like, talk about that. And then I may just do some standing and shooting, just for fun. Okay, here's our target. This is the first, you know, just kind of getting the rifle out. I guess I probably had zeroed it just a little bit, or the dot was, but it's pretty much right on at 50 yards, which is great. All of those right in there. You know, it's not going to be a great shooter at 100 yards by any means, but that optic can't do 100 yards. This is what we saw with the Phantom Defense seconds. This is what we saw with the Fort Scott ammunition. There's some quite a, you know, 1, 2 stacking in there. 3, 4, 5. So that's not bad. And then this is that bigger group that we did with the Gorilla. Some of it's stacking in there. I bet with a better optic, you can get even better results with that. I may have to move a different optic onto here, but pretty exciting. You know, the right ammunition and many distances that you're going to be up in a tree stand, that's going to be pretty effective. Okay, just standing and shooting. See how it does? We have a pretty full magazine. Yeah. See how it does? And failure. It's not resetting the trigger. So the trigger is dead. This is the same thing that happened before. Let's see and it's loading another round. So we may need to do some tuning on this. Maybe with that extra back pressure or something. It's just not resetting the trigger on it. So I don't know. Maybe some different spring weights on here. I'll try that out. Worked there. Didn't work there. No signs of extra pressure. Could definitely be the suppressor on the end of it. I can always pop that off. See if it does any better without it. Probably will. I'll have to work this out. These are some of the things when you have a can, new gun, so on and so forth. All right. Nah, it's just not running that ammo. And that is, I put some Fort Scott and I put some other stuff in here. Well, it's disappointing. It ran it at first. You saw, just had one issue in there. Yeah, let's pull out the Fort Scott. Nope, not getting any reset. I don't know what's going on now. Get the trigger in there, and we get the next round loaded, we get no reset on it. Well, Bear Creek, what's going on? Okay, suffice it to say, we had a lot of problems with the Gorilla and the Fort Scott ammunition. Not sure why. Now we're back to the Phantom. This is their seconds or Blem rounds, and we'll see if it's any better. Yeah, so it's probably ammo related. One of the challenges with 8.6 Blackout is there isn't really, or at least there wasn't a SAMI spec, especially when I bought this ammo. So glad I have a fair bit of that Phantom Defense. That seems to run just fine. So it does seem to be very ammo specific. Interesting. All right, well, let's wrap things up today. We had a great time shooting the 8.6 Blackout from Bear Creek Arsenal. Well, we had some problems with some ammunition. I don't know what's going on, but those two types of ammunition they seemed to go really bad when I started shoulder firing it. Not sure what's going on. Probably something to do with the buffer system in it and the recoil impulse that's putting out. We ran it with the family Phantom Defense factory blemish rounds. It ran flawlessly. So I don't know. We'll do more shooting with it, and we'll do more load development. Specifically, these is all what I would consider more target ammo and not what I would consider more self-defense or hunting ammo. So I'll get more concerned about what type of ammo we choose. I have heard that with 8.6 Blackout, that does become one of the issues. You got to find the ammo that runs in your gun. Unfortunately, with a Faxon, I couldn't find one, and it feels like this Phantom Defense work fine in the Bear Creek Arsenal gun. So that's good to know because I have a bunch of it. All right, well, with that said, let me know what your thoughts are on 8.6 Blackout. I think it's compelling, especially in a shorter, compact packages because it's a heavy rifle. It's not an AR-15. It's bigger. It's heavier. Everything about it is heavier. The barrels are heavier. They're 1 in 3 twists. But the benefit you get with this bigger cartridge over something like a 300 Blackout is that you get something that is going to do a little bit more damage. Instead of a 200 grain weight, you're talking about 300 grain weight. And so again, with these momentum equations and energy equations, you got to add mass when you can't add velocity. So that's what they're going to do. So I think that there's some compelling reasons to think about this as both a home defense and as a hunting cartridge. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope everyone has a great week, and let's get shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Living for freedom.